Good morning, Amber, Indigo and Jade. Welcome to our third reading lesson of the week. We're going to continue with our story, and the ally today is to use exclamation marks. So let's start by ensuring that you are ready to begin. So do you have your pencil or pen and paper? And use the pause button if you find you need to stop and do something. Let's start with our steps. We'll have the phonics at the beginning, followed by the spelling. Third activity will be to learn about exclamation marks, and the last activity is to do an exclamation mark task. Right, so let's get started. Remember our sound of the week, ow. So we have the grapheme OW and OU. And if we use OW, we can come up with words that use the ow sound. How, now, and ow. And then if we have the OU grapheme, has the ow sound as well. We can have house, mouse, and sound. Let's see what comes up next. Well, I've put some pictures here. Do you have any idea what word is going to come up? We can see that animal there. Looks like a wolf to me, and he seems to be doing what? Last week we had a wolf howling, but this time around he's showing his teeth. He's not howling, but it's a growl. And the young boy there, can you see that look on his face? We call it a frown. And of course we have the picture of the clown. So we have those three words with the ow sound. Growl, frown, clown. And they both have the grapheme OW. And then we have our second set of words. There's a dog there. It's called a basset hound. And on the right hand side there's a small hill there, and we call it a, do you know what it's called? It rhymes with hound, mound. It's called a mound. So we have hound, found, and mound, and they all have the OU grapheme, which makes the same sound as the grapheme OW, owl, hound, found, and mound. So let's look at a sentence. The girl skated slowly across the snow to get to the house. Can you spot any of your owl graphemes in the sentence? Can you see any words that have the OW owl sound or the OU owl sound? Have you spotted them? I'm going to count to 5 and then I'm going to show you. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we come up with. The girl skated slowly across the snow to get to the house. So we have the OW in slowly, which is the owl, and we have OW in snow, which is the owl grapheme. And then the last word in the word house, we have the owl sound from using the grapheme OU, house. So the girl skated slowly across the snow to get to the house. What comes next? Well, yes, it's our spelling words. And there we can see the wolf is howling. And we have, of course, the owl. And next is the mouse, followed by the house. And last of all, followed by sound. So hopefully by Friday, you'll be able to recognize these words and you'll be able to spell them correctly. So now, howl, owl, mouse, house, sound. Those are your spelling words for the week. So what's coming up next? Well, what is an exclamation mark with a question mark at the end? What does an exclamation mark look like to start with? Well, let's look. If we have the word boom, it makes a very loud noise. So because it's making a loud noise, we can put an exclamation mark at the end. Remember, it's that vertical line or straight line with a big dot underneath, or like a full stop. So we have the word bang, wham, and boing. So when I raise my voice, it means that I could, in my writing, put an exclamation mark. All of those words are called onomatopoeia because those words are the words of the sound that they make, or the action. So what are we going to do now? Well, an exclamation mark shows intense emotion. What's intense emotion? Well, it could be when people are really happy or excited or surprised or angry. People might raise their voice. If people are raising their voice because they're emotional, then you can put an exclamation mark at the end. So instead of saying, I can't wait, you could say, I can't wait, which means you're raising your voice, you're showing extreme emotion, and you can put an exclamation mark at the end. You could say, I need some ice cream, or you could say, I need some ice cream, exclamation mark at the end. And then the last sentence is go to sleep. Well, do you remember the story, The Very Noisy Night? I don't think Big Mouse just said to Little Mouse, go to sleep. He actually said, go to sleep. So use those exclamation marks when there's extreme or intense emotion, when people are happy, maybe even when they're sad or excited or surprised or angry. So if you add an exclamation mark, I put here Little Mouse. If you put an exclamation mark, what does that look like if you rewrote that sentence? Go to sleep. Hopefully you remember that one. I can hear a noise. And woohoo, woohoo. Do you remember that from the story? Could you put an exclamation mark at the end? That would be your task now. Write Little Mouse and then put your exclamation mark if you think Little Mouse was showing intense emotion. And Little Mouse probably was, because Little Mouse was a bit afraid or frightened. Right, here's another activity for you. Add an exclamation mark, see the green exclamation mark, or a full stop. If you read the sentences, would you put an exclamation mark or would you put a full stop? I cannot wait. Go to sleep. The dog is sleeping. I eat meat. I am so happy. It is the morning. Well, I've read all the sentences, 6 of them. What do you think? I'm going to read them again, but I'm going to show a bit of intense emotion. I cannot wait. So that's number 1. Do you put an exclamation mark or full stop? Number 2, go to sleep. Do you put an exclamation mark or full stop? Number 3, the dog is sleeping. What do you put? Exclamation mark or full stop? Number 4, I eat meat. Choose your punctuation. Exclamation mark or full stop? Number 5, I am so happy. What do you choose? Exclamation mark or full stop? And number 6, it is the morning. Which do you use? Exclamation mark or full stop? It's all to do with my emotion. Let's move on. Well, in the story, Little Mouse kept hearing different noises. Can you write 3 sentences of your own using an exclamation mark? Remember, yesterday you were trying to memorize the story and you had your story map. Hopefully that you did. Can you take any sentences that you heard in the story and write them here and put an exclamation mark? So I've put the pictures there because I thought they might give you an idea of what to write. So think about when there was extreme or intense emotion in the story and write sentences where you can use an exclamation mark. I'm going to move on again, going to the final part, and here's your last activity today. Put the exclamation mark into these sentences in the correct place. So you have to decide, you read the sentence and then you decide, do I put an exclamation mark or can I put an exclamation mark? So I'm going to read the first sentence. The concept was amazing. Oh, I could do that. Concept was amazing. And in the second sentence, wow, that star is really bright. It's got a full stop at the end of that sentence. What comes after wow? What a lovely smile you have. And the last sentence, sit down and be quiet, the man shouted. What goes after the word quiet? And your last piece of work on the right hand side, what or which piece of punctuation? So here you have to choose, do I use a full stop, an exclamation mark or a question mark? I'm going to read them for you. What time is the next train to London? The old car rattled along the road. What a great footballer you are! Crash! How old are you? Sitting quietly, the boy read his book. Right, so select the punctuation for each sentence. Now, rather than you have to write these all out, you can go to the Year 3 folder and look for 240620 and reading with Amber, Indigo and Jade. And all of these tasks are on the worksheet, which will save you having to write it all out. Right, enjoy the task. I look forward to seeing you work. Have an enjoyable day. Bye for now. So don't forget, email your work to yr3@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Thank you everyone, take care.